Episode 136. Can you hear me now? Do you know what me and a calendar have in common? Yeah, a calendar has dates. Hello and welcome to the 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, and delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? That's about how long the washing machine has to run until it dings, and then I have to put everything in the dryer. Yeah, I know they're getting lame. Before we get things started, I need to go over some legal boilerplate mumbo jumbo, but of course I don't have to because I have enslaved AI interns. So take it away, enslaved AI interns.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span. Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio, or through our website, 10minuteoffroad.com.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never TikTok.
I tell you, I'm really warming up to this AI stuff. All right, so as I might have glazed over in the last show, I had some time to kill before I went back to work. Had a few days off to myself. I decided to go up into the mountains and spend 4 days, 3 nights up in the woods. I left a note with my wife, and I also told her, not like I left while she was gone, and she came home to an empty house, but I told her where I was going to be and the coordinates that I was going to be at. I really didn't even do any overlanding. I just drove up to a campsite and just stayed there for a couple of days. Nice campsite, had a great time. I didn't have cell phone coverage. So after a couple of days of my wife seeing no activity on my phone, she tried pinging it and got no response. She kind of mildly panicked and called a few of my friends looking for me, see if anybody knew where I was at and had eyes on me. Understandably. But when I got home, we got into I wouldn't say an argument, not a fight, but a disagreement about my lack of communication. And it's not the first time it's happened. So she was kind of fed up with it. And she said we needed to fix it. And I told her I could fix it, but it's going to cost some money. She said, whatever you got to do. So long story short, I made Elon Musk a little bit richer and ordered a Starlink Mini. And I got to tell you, the ordering process to buying it was really simple. Elon Musk knows how to make some money, man. He made it very, very easy to do. But I got my Starlink Mini, took it out in the backyard and played with it, set it up. It was very easy to set up. The whole thing pretty much does it for you. But long story short, now I have communication. Starlink arrived in a box with the dish itself, which is relatively small. God, I can't remember the measurements offhand, but I want to say it's roughly about 16 inches by 16 inches, give or take. It's fairly small, about the size of my laptop here. It comes with a 50-foot cord, power cord, and an AC adapter to plug it into the wall, and a mount to mount it on a pole. So I took it out to set it up, and I recommend setting it up on AC power. Plug it in, set it up in your backyard, plug it into an extension cord or into your house or whatever you have to get AC power. Setting it up, you just download the Starlink app, you open it up, you connect your phone to the Starlink through Wi-Fi. And I got to tell you, when you plug in the Starlink, they don't tell you this, but it takes a minute for the Starlink to boot up. So if you plug it in and you look on your phone to see, looking for the Wi-Fi connection for Starlink, you're not going to see it for a minute or two. So be a little patient. It took me a while to figure that one out. Once you see the Starlink on your phone, connect to it, and it takes it from there. Tells you if you have your dish aligned right. You might have to turn it a little bit to the north, a little bit to the south. It tells you everything about it, whether it's angled too high or too low. And it took about a minute or two, or a couple of minutes, for it to establish connection. And this is in my backyard with very little obstruction. I unplugged it and took it into the woods behind my house. I didn't go up into the mountains. I still had internet connection from my house where I was at. It was, which drove me up a wall, because when I didn't have the Starlink connection, my phone automatically went to my Wi-Fi connection at the house. It was a big mess. But anywho, out in the woods, I had a little bit of tree cover. Now it's winter time, so there's no leaves on the tree. And it had a little bit of a harder time connecting to the satellite. And when it did connect to the satellite, it downloaded an update, which took a little bit of time. So when I tried it out in tree cover, it took about a half hour to get everything connected and working good. But once it got connected, it worked great. I'll talk about the plans for the Starlink Mini. Mine came with a free 1 month subscription to their mid-tier plan, which is 100 gigabytes of data per month. Their top tier is unlimited data, fully wide open, at $165 a month, which is a little bit pricey because I don't need that much data. Matter of fact, I need hardly any data. I go up in the mountains to get away from technology. It's not like I'm filming up there and editing on the spot. I don't really need to stream movies or anything like that. It's like I said, I go up in the mountains to get away from all this. I just need the Starlink for a communication if I would have to make a text message or a phone call. It seems to be about the best bang for the buck. You can get a Garmin InReach, and you can send out text messages, but it costs pretty much about the same amount as I paid for the Starlink. And the monthly subscription is a little bit higher, I think. I'm not sure, but bang for the buck, Starlink is what I went for, because why spend all that money for something that just sends out a text message when I can spend the money, same amount of money, on this thing, and I get more stuff, versatile. You know, I don't plan on streaming a movie, but it's nice to have the opportunity if I can. Or play a nice game of Candy Crush. Or just watch a YouTube video on like how to operate a compass. But man, I jumped the shark on that one. Back to the plans. Top tier plan, $165 a month. It's like unlimited everything, awesome, high speed internet. 100 gigs of high speed internet for $50. And then they have what they call standby mode, which is $7 a month. It gives you unlimited data, but they choke it down to like dial-up speeds. I'm still on the $50 a month plan until sometime in like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And then it's going to go to the standby. First weekend it goes on standby mode, I'm going to head up to the mountains. I don't know if I'm going to spend the night or not. It depends on what the weather and what's going on, but I'm going to head up in the middle of nowhere and just see exactly what I can do with standby data. I'm hoping I could just look up Facebook, maybe play some Facebook Reels, and of course send out text messages, FaceTime. I'm hoping for all of that. But we'll see, and I'll report back on what I have. Now, as far as accessories, Starlink sells a bunch of accessories for it, and there's a bunch of companies that make accessories for the Starlink. I went on Amazon and I saw that for $35, Amazon sells a Pelican type case that has the foam cutouts already for Starlink and everything, and you just pop it in. I happen to have a Pelican case at home here, and the box that the Starlink came in fit perfectly in my Pelican case. So I got my Starlink in its original package in a Pelican case. So it's pretty secure. I recommend that because it is an electronic piece of equipment. You don't want it bouncing around loose. And it's nice to have all the little giblets and everything with it. It comes with the AC adapter, but no DC adapter. I don't know if anybody driving around with, I guess if you have a power station with AC outlet, but then you're using power to run the AC outlet to run the Starlink. So you're kind of like wasting electricity. Starlink sells a 12-volt adapter that's like the old cigarette lighter type adapter that you just put into the 12-volt port on your vehicle or on your jack or your power station. And I highly recommend that. Now, I bought one from Amazon, which is a knockoff, but you could buy it right from Starlink when you order your Starlink, and it's only a few dollars more than Amazon, but to have the official Starlink adapter, I would highly recommend it. And it's just a little cigarette lighter adapter, and you plug the cord that you came in with it into it. And that was around 30 bucks. I think it's like 40 bucks from Starlink, but I would buy it from Starlink just so you know you're getting the good quality. I also bought off Amazon. It was $17, and it was the 12-volt port with a built-in cord for the Starlink, and it had a USB slot so I could plug in a USB charger like to charge my phone or something while I'm operating the Starlink. That thing was a little temperamental. It fit perfect in the cigarette lighter in my vehicles, but on my power station, it felt kind of loose. And it kept dropping off. Starlink was working perfectly, and all of a sudden it lost power, and then it would come back up again. So that went back to Amazon. That might go back to Amazon. I haven't decided. I do like the idea of having two ways to power it. I also did buy on Amazon. It has a cigarette lighter port with alligator clips, so I can clip it to my battery. And you've seen these at truck stops all the time. People use them to extend their air compressors and stuff. I highly would recommend getting one of those. So this way if you don't have, if your power station runs down, or for some reason the only power source you have is the battery on your vehicle, you just pop the hood, use the alligator clips to clip on, and you're good to go. Amazon also sells an adapter for the Starlink that you plug into the Starlink, and you plug in two DeWalt 20 amp batteries, and you can run your Starlink off of that. And they also have like extended batteries that you just plug into the Starlink. So the Starlink is all one self-contained unit. There is a ton of accessories for the Starlink Mini. All right, so if you got any questions or comments about the Starlink, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. If you don't have a Starlink and thinking about it, I highly recommend it. It has a thumbs up approval from me. All right, I've just about rambled on long enough. I'm almost running out of things to say, and my mouth is getting dry. All right, until next time, this is Nikki G saying, "Will what you got and be happy."